Okay, here is the Rheem water heater. I think it is 38 gallons, so it's actually a little shorter than the old one, but it is a little wider, which might present some problems with me getting it down there, but I think I'll be okay. Before I take it inside, the first thing I'm gonna do, measure, make sure it fits in the hole, and then I'm gonna put this powered anode rod in. So I'm gonna take this off, carve out the foam insulation around there, find a socket that fits in there, use my impact and a breaker bar, and get that old magnesium rod out, and put the powered one in. This is the first thing I'm gonna do. I wanna do this up here. This prevents the rotten egg smell that we have here, the sulfur smell. So it happens when this magnesium anode rod, in certain types of water conditions with certain bacteria and other things, it causes a sulfur reaction. It smells like rotten eggs. Your hot water smells awful, and that is the case with ours. So I will get that done first. All right, there's the top of it. I can't remember if it's a 1 inch. So these things can be pretty tough to get out, especially when the water heater is loose like this. Okay, probably not gonna get that lucky. And try to prevent any of that loose foam from dropping down into the tank. Look at that, look how sloppy they were with that. Look at all that pipe dope on there. It's kind of horrible. That would have all been in the water. Been using this company for years. This is I think this is the 4th one of these that I have installed in various water heaters in the last 10 years. And they just work. It's a shorter anode rod. They are geared towards different sized tanks. This one is for up to 39 gallons. This is a 38 gallon tank. And all we're gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of thread sealant on here. We're gonna screw this in there. It has a power adapter we'll put on later. It just clips on the end and it's done. It'll protect your water heater and you won't have rotten egg smell. You wanna make sure we're gonna spin in there this way. So we want to spin the Teflon tape in the opposite direction so that as we're spinning it in there, this doesn't catch and fold this back over. So this is the right way. Another nice thing is this one sticks up past the hole. So if you ever have to take it back out again later, it's a lot easier to get out. I think this is 1.25 inches. Can't tell you how handy it's been. My sets only go up to usually 15/16 is the largest sockets that I have in any set. And so over time, I have collected a good American set of sockets, and then also a good metric set of larger size sockets. So this is 1.25 inches. You're not going to run into this very often, except maybe on a truck suspension or a water heater. I don't want to strip anything out or wreck anything, so we'll leave it about like that. This can always be tightened up afterwards if we see any kind of leak in there. Okay, and this is where we're going with the water heater. No good way to open this thing. That's my ladder. I've got a hose to drain the old one. We've got a little, I don't know if there's any outlets down there, so I'm gonna use this little 4-way or 6-way. And then I've got my Porter cable work lights, which I like a lot. My water heater is 23 inches wide. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to take off. So I'll have to take off one of these little runners here, which I think is fine, maybe both of them. I actually cleaned this crawl space up quite a bit when we moved in. So it's not too bad. We have a sump crock down here. I don't think there's ever been water in it. So I don't know where this goes. I don't know where this PVC pipe goes. So it's interesting to see what was gonna happen when I drain this water heater in here. If it, I don't know, if this is blocked, that pump's gonna try to run and it's just gonna maybe blow a seal out here and pump water all over in the corner. I don't know. Here's a water heater. My goal is to just leave as much of this in place as possible. I'm not going to really mess with much in here. I'm going to try to even not do any soldering, but we're going to take off all the stovepipe. We'll cap that off eventually. Today I'll just stuff this over. I think that this water heater is from the 80s, maybe? Serial number 89. There you go. From 1989. The American Ameriglass. We're gonna see if I can crack these unions on the top here. They're probably pretty corroded together. Worst case scenario, I'll cut this pipe right here and I'll just re-pipe that. And then I can break this union, it looks like right here actually. This is a hot water plate heat exchanger from our wood boiler. This is all going to stay. I'm going to leave all this here. So I'll have to strap this up to the ceiling to hold all the weight. And this is a mixing valve. Not sure if it works or not, but we'll just leave it. It's fine. There used to be a built-in hot tub on the deck, and all the equipment was down here. This actually has a heater. We'll unpack all this, and I think that this wiring, that is definitely thick wire. I'll look at the gauge on it, but it only needs to be 30 amps, 220, so I think we're good. That's plenty. I wonder if this actually works. Oh, I think it does. Cool. All I have to do is hook my hose up, run it over there to that sump crock, and start draining this thing. The real question, what happens when this fills up? Might get wet. I want to cap this off right away, because what if I bump this valve, not thinking about it, and then I go up and eat dinner or something, and come back down here and blow up. Come back down here with a big cigarette. Just kidding. Just kidding. This stuff will all get thrown away. I don't reuse this black pipe. Huh. Okay, let's see. Okay, so tip it back. Okay, we're gonna go over the edge.
Todd, the strap fell.
Oh, hold the strap. Okay, it fell off. Okay, we're gonna go all the way now.
Okay, it didn't slam down, so that's good.
Oh, that's perfect. Take this heater apart. Oh, there's water in here. That's kind of gross. Oh, wow. Let's see what you got. Well, that's the hookup. I ended up taking out the mixing valve up here. So how this works with the wood boiler, in case some of you aren't familiar, this is a line that comes from an outdoor wood burner. So that boiler heats up water outside. I think it's 180 degrees, and that cycles through here. This hot water plate heat exchanger, basically the cold water comes in and it cycles through, heats up over these plates, and then goes into the cold water side of the hot water heater. It actually, in the wintertime, when I have the boiler running, it actually fills the hot water heater with hot water. It's already heated, so the hot water heater never runs. That's what this is here for. The mixing valve that was there, that actually helps to regulate the temperature, because this water can get super hot when this is hooked up. It can come out pretty hot. So that just cooled the water down, but I don't think it was working anymore. It was all froze up. I couldn't turn anything on it, so I decided to remove it. I don't like using PEX, so I cheated and I got all shark bite connectors. And I got these fittings, instead of putting dielectric unions here, I got these flexible hot water tank hookups, the flexible hoses. So this gives me basically a union at the hot water heater on both sides, and I have a cold water inlet valve already here. This actually worked out really good. You know, it doesn't look as nice as nice soldered up square connections, but I don't like using PEX on any of my hot water or cold water supplies in the house. I don't like plastic, so this was a cheat. I could have soldered this all together, of course, but it would have taken me a lot longer. I just don't have time today. The disadvantage, this stuff is expensive. 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, $20, $20. So 40, 50, 60, 70, $80. And then one over here, that was $90 worth of fittings that I put on this water heater. I went ahead and turned the cold water supply on and filled the water heater. A little trick, once you let this settle down, whenever you jostle your water pipes, whenever you're turning things on or off, you're gonna end up with a little bit of sediment and stuff that gets knocked out of there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna open this drain valve for a little bit, and I'm just gonna just cycle off the bottom of this tank. I just wanna make sure there's no debris floating around in there. And so we'll let this, you know, all kind of flush out and make sure it's nice and clean in there. I don't want anything sitting on the bottom of this tank. I kind of like these little valves, although I have a feeling when they get stuck, it's gonna be real hard to turn that. The electrical, again, this is a 50 amp service that runs up there that was hooked up to that pool pump thing down here. That's way overrated for this. This only needs a 30 amp 220 service. This has a 50 amp breaker on it right now, so I'm actually gonna have to switch that breaker to a 30 amp double pole breaker. Even though this wire can handle it all the way to the unit, the wires inside the unit right here are not rated for that much power. So if this thing ever did short circuit, something internally here short circuited, those wires would actually catch on fire before the breaker would trip probably, and I don't want that. So we want to match the breaker with the wires that are hooked up on the actual appliance itself. They recommend 30 amps for this. Well, I ended up finding out where that sump pump went. That pipe just stubs through the wall right there, and it just comes out in our landscaping. So it was under the ground about a foot, and I saw water bubbling out, so I guess it goes somewhere, but that thing never runs. It's never run since it was put in. It's bone dry. So of course we want to check everything for leaks, check all our shark bite fittings. Everything up here looks good. And we're going to get a little bit of condensation on these because it's going to fill real cold water for a few minutes. This was here from earlier, some of this dropped. So everything looks good. I don't see any leaks. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up, and installation is done. A little short 38 gallon water heater, all electric, no more propane. Well, that's it. The installation of the 38 gallon little short Crawlspace water heater. It's been in operation now for a few weeks and it has been working perfectly. I did show it comes with an insulation blanket I put on here. It just wraps around there. It also comes with a top that I guess I could have put on earlier before I put all the pipes together, but I'm not worried about that. It's actually cool to the touch on the outside, so it's already insulated very well. So now we have clean, no rotten egg smell. We've got rust-free, mineral-free water. This old water heater, the one that we took out, has been causing a lot of problems for us. There's a lot of mineral buildup in it that was coming through in the faucets and things, and so now we have nice, clean, hot water. I will put all this stuff that I got at Home Depot. Everything was purchased at Home Depot here. I'll put all the links in the description for that stuff over there. You can check it out yourself if you're looking to do a project like this. If you have questions about anything, I'd love to answer those. I do monitor the channel and monitor the comments, so you can ask those anytime, even if it's a year or two from now. Let me know what you guys think, of course, in the comments down below. Hit thumbs up on today's video. If you'd like to tag along, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you follow along with all of our new content. We'll see you next time.